Good morning students. Hope all of you are doing well. Today I am going to discuss about chapter 2 physical quantities and measurement. Okay. So let's see. So the lightness or heaviness of an object is directly related to its density. Okay. So when we say that the iron is heavier than wood for a given volume, then it simply means that the density of iron is greater than the density of wood. Okay, so in the previous class you learned that density is the amount of matter present per unit volume. Okay, so what is the definition of density? Already you learned in your previous class. Density is the amount of matter present per unit volume of a substance. That things already you studied in your previous class. How to calculate the density of a regular solid? So in this chapter we will learn how to calculate the density of an irregular solid. Okay, so these things you already learned, that density is equal to mass per unit volume. So mass you denoted by small m and volume is denoted by capital V, and density is always denoted by capital D. So these things already you learned in your previous class, but today we will learn, and also you learn that the density of a how to find out the density of a regular solid. But in this chapter we will learn how to measure the of density of irregular solid. So we would also learn why a solid floats or sinks in a liquid. That things also learn in this chapter. So let us recapitulate how the density of a regular solid can be calculated. Okay, so that density is equal to mass per unit volume. So measure so calculate by knowing its mass and volume. So if you know that mass and volume, if you know that any unknown object, that you can easily use this formula, density is equal to mass per unit volume, then you will get the density. So mass of a regular solid can be measured by a beam balance, and volume of a regular solid can be calculated by using the formula. For example, for a cube the length is given, so how can you find out the volume for cube actually? So for cube volume is equal to length the whole cube. Okay, so this is that for cube the volume is equal to length per whole cube, and if that for a cuboid, so for a cuboid that volume is equal to length into breadth into height. Okay, so if you know that mass and volume, that two things if you know, then easily you can put this formula, and easily you can find out that density, how to measure the density. Okay, so here actually you see that so mass of a regular solid. So if for regular solid, so measuring the density is not very difficult for a regular solid, because regular solid mass you can measure by using a beam balance, and volume of a regular solid can be used by using this formula. If that regular solid is a cube, then we are using this formula, volume is equal to length the whole cube, and for a cuboid volume is equal to length into breadth into height. Okay, so unit of density of a regular solid is, you see here, the mass per unit volume, so kg per meter cube or kg per centimeter cube. Okay, so or gram per centimeter cube. So unit of density for a regular solid is kg per meter cube or gram per centimeter cube. So this is kg per meter cube is the SI unit of density, and gram per meter cube is the CGS unit of density. So here actually is our challenging is that how to measurement of density of irregular solid. To measure the density of a solid, both its mass and volume have to be measured. Okay, because you know that this formula, from this formula, density is equal to mass per unit volume. So if you don't know what is the mass and volume, how can you find out the density of a solid? So that's why this mass and volume, both things you have to measure at first. The mass of any solid can be determined with the help of a physical balance. So by using a physical balance or beam balance, you can easily find out the mass of any solid. The volume of a regular solid can be found by using this formula. See that for cube we are using this formula, for cuboid we are using this formula. Okay, so however, there are no formula to determine the volume of regular solids. For irregular solids, there have no particular formula. So how can you find out the volume? Because without volume, if you find out the mass, but if you don't know what is the volume, so how can you find out the density? So for this, so how can you find out the volume? So the volume of irregular solid can be found by either using a measuring cylinder or a Eureka can. Okay, so the volume of irregular solids can be found by either using a measuring cylinder or a Eureka can. So you see here, this is called actually measuring cylinder, because you see that the scaling is on the wall of that cylinder. So that's why if we pour the water inside of it, that we can find out how much volume of or amount of water is inside of this measuring cylinder. Okay, or Eureka cans, this picture is here. See, this is a Eureka can. So in that way, we can find out the volume of a irregular solid. Irregular solid is the one whose dimension cannot be measured, that is like a pebble or stone. So you see here in this activity, to determine the volume of an irregular solid, so you see here students, so density is equal to mass per unit volume. So mass we can easily find out by using a physical balance and or beam balance to determine the mass. But is as challenging is that how can you find out the volume? So to determine the volume of an irregular solid using a measuring cylinder. So first activity is our to determine the volume of an irregular solid using a measuring cylinder, and second activity is our how can you find out the volume of an irregular solid by using a Eureka can. So two method we will learn, so one by one. So first one, which is what is our aim to determine the volume of an irregular solid using a measuring cylinder. Materials require an irregular solid. So I told you the irregular solid is that one whose dimension cannot be measured. So if you take any stone, is it possible to find out the dimension of a stone? Not possible. So say a piece of stone, a measuring cylinder, or a piece of string. So you see here in this picture, see this is a stone, this is a string, and this is a measuring cylinder. Of course a measuring cylinder is required to find out the volume. So you see, the pour some water in the measuring cylinder. You see at first here at first you have to pour some water in the measuring cylinder, then you record it. Okay, what is that level of that upper level of that water, how much is it? So at first you record the water level of water from the graduation marked on its wall. So you see here, if at first you mark here, say this much water you pour inside of the cylinder, measuring cylinder. Now tie the string around the stone. So you see here then second step is your tie your string around the stone and lower it into that cylinder gently without touching it wall or the bottom. So you gently put inside of the cylinder and don't touch its wall or also the bottom of the cylinder. So until it is completely immersed, in this liquid, okay, or water, because here we are choosing that liquid as a water. So you until you it is completely without touching its walls or the bottom until it is completely immersed. Okay, then you find out what is that how much water is displaced from, or how much raised position of this water level. So how at first the water level was that, and now after immersed this stone, that water level is increased. So how much is increasing, that is that much water is displaced. So when you subtract from that, because that one is the that number is the larger one, so you subtract that to that. So v2, if you take this this level is v2 and this level is v1, when you subtract v2 minus v1, then you will get what is the actual volume of that stone. Okay, so students, actually these things is first invented by a famous Greek mathematician Archimedes. Discovered that when an object is immersed in a liquid, it displaces a liquid equivalent to its volume. Okay, so you here also you can notice that one things, this how much water is displaced by the stone, that is actually its volume of the stone. Okay, so when an object is immersed in a liquid, it displaces a liquid equivalent to its volume. Archimedes' principle states that when an object is completely or partially immersed in a fluid, it experiences an upward force that is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the object. Okay, so that, so at first you see that when that water level is in first that volume of the water level is in v1, and then second when we immerse the stone in completely immersed in a water, that the how much water is displaced, so v2 minus v1, that is, if you consider as a v, so v is that actual volume of that stone. Okay, so next we will you see here, see. So step 3, the level of water in the cylinder rises. Note down the level of water in the cylinder again. Observation is initial level of water was v1 and initial final level of water is v2. So what is the volume of the stone? So according to that principle of Archimedes, when an object is immersed in a fluid, in a liquid, it displaces a liquid equivalent to its volume. So the volume of the stone is that the difference or the displaces of water, so means v2 minus v1. Okay, so that is the actual volume of the stone. Let's see that activity 2. So activity 2 is the same almost same procedure, because we are, our focus is our how to find out the volume of an irregular solid. So one one type of things already you learn, how to find out the volume of an irregular solid by using a measuring cylinder. So here also we are using that things, but we are using a by using a Eureka can. So at first students, you have to know about what is Eureka can. So Eureka can is a can that was designed by Archimedes to measure the volume of irregular object. So these things also designed by Archimedes to measure the volume of a irregular object. Okay, so for this, what is our aim? To determine the volume of an irregular solid using a Eureka can. Materials, what is material is required? Materials required an irregular solid, say a piece of stone, a measuring cylinder, a Eureka can, a piece of string. Okay, so what is our first procedure or first step of this process? So fill the Eureka can. So you see here, Eureka can is a large container with a spout positioned near the top. You see this is a spout is near the position near the top. That can is filled to the top with water and the object is placed in it. Okay, so we will fill this water up to the top, and we will place that object in it. Okay, so fill the Eureka can with water, let the water drain out from the spout. So you see this is a spout, so let the water drain out from the spout. This ensures that the water in the can is filled to the point of overflowing. Okay, so you must ensure that the water in the can is filled to the point of overflowing. Okay, So up to this, you see, right, I told you. So Eureka can is a large container with a spout positioned near the top, and the can is filled to the top with water. So place the measuring cylinder under the spout of the can. So you see here that you place the measuring cylinder under the spout of the can. Tie the string around the stone and gently immerse it into the can such that it does not touch the walls of the can. So these things is same like a measuring cylinder. So you place the measuring cylinder under the, see here, you under the spout of the can, so that when you fill the water up to fill the to the top of with water, the can fill to the top with water, and you place that object inside inside of it, and that water is displaced from through their spout, and you put that measuring cylinder here, so under the spout of the can. So now you see that tie the string around the stone and gently immerse. So when you gently you immerse the tie the string around the, so you tie the string around the stone at first and gently immerse it into the can such that it does not touch. So it does not touch the bottom of the can and also is a wall of the can. The stone displaces some water out of the can. So when you immerse the stone inside of this water, that stone is displaces some water through this spout and collect the overflow water into the measuring cylinder. So here you can see that drain water is you collect that through by using a measuring cylinder, and that is actually the displace of water is that actual volume of the stone. So the volume of the stone is the volume of water collected in the measuring cylinder. So that volume of the stone is that how much water is displaces through this spout, and you collected that in the measuring cylinder, that volume is that actual volume of that stone. So this way actually that two method by using a measuring cylinder, by using a Eureka can, you can measure that volume of a regular solid. So if you know that mass by using a physical balance, so mass of any solid can be determined with the help of a physical balance, and volume you measure by measuring cylinder or Eureka can. Then two things you learn already. So according to that the formula of density is equal to mass per unit volume. So mass divided by volume. So if you know mass and volume, then easily you can find out the density. And SI unit of density is kg per meter cube, and CGS unit of density is equal to gram per centimeter cube. Okay. So let's see here students, some numerical problems is here. What is your first example? So a measuring cylinder is filled with 50 ml of water. A solid with mass 16 kg is then lowered into the cylinder. The water level rises to 58 ml. So you see here at first that in measuring cylinder that is filled with 50 ml of water. So that is actually our V1, the volume of water, so V1, and then when you place that 16 kg of solid is lowered into that cylinder, then that water level rises to V2. So this is our V2. So determine the density of the solid. So mass of the solid is 16 kg. So initial value of water V1 equals to 50 ml, and final value of V2 is equal to 58. So how much water displaced by that solid? So volume of solid is equal to increase in the level of water. So V2 minus V1, so that much water is displaced. So 58 ml minus 50 ml, so 8 ml. So what is the density formula? Is this mass per unit volume? So density of the solid is equal to 16 gram divided by 8 ml. So then you will get 2 gram per ml or 2 gram per centimeter cube. Okay. So this way you have to solve those numericals problem. Let's see. So example 2, a child finds the mass of an iron nail to be 7 gram. He then takes 10 such identical nails and gently places them into a eureka can filled with water. The water overflows and is collected in a measuring cylinder. The reading is noted down from the measuring cylinder is 9 ml. Okay, so determine the density of the iron nail. So you see here, mass of the iron nail is giving, how much is it? 7 gram. So volume of 10 iron nails. So one mass of an iron nail is 7 gram. So volume of 10 iron nail is the same as the volume of water collected in the measuring cylinder, that is 9 ml. So volume of the iron nail is equal to 9 ml divided by 10, because when you place that 10 iron nail inside of this eureka can, that much water is displaced, or that much water is overflowed through that spout, and that collected in the measuring cylinder. So for 10 iron nails the volume is 9 ml. So for one iron nail, how much volume? 9 ml divided by 10, so means 0.9 ml. So density of the iron nail for one iron nail's mass is given 7 gram. So your mass per unit volume, so 7 gram divided by 0.9 ml, so 7.8 gram per ml. So this is the density of that one iron nail. So this way, student, you see these numericals are very easy. You see that only one formula is required for that. Density is equal to mass per unit volume, D is equal to m by v. So you just one thing is here also, when you solve those problems you have to check that unit. So what is unit is in CGS system of unit, or it is SI system of unit. You please convert it in same system of unit. Okay. So next is the measurement of density of liquids. It is very easy to determine the density of liquids as compared to that of solids or gases. The mass of a liquid can be measured with the help of a physical balance, and the volume can be measured with the help of graduated cylinder. Let us perform an activity to determine the density of a liquid. Okay, so see here, student, here are the activity 3 to determine the density of a liquid. So for this you require a liquid, a measuring cylinder, physical balance. Physical balance is required for that to determine the mass of an object. Okay, so find the mass of the empty cylinder with the help of the physical balance. Okay, pour that liquid into the measuring cylinder and determine its mass again. Okay, so at first you take that empty cylinder and find out what is the mass of an empty cylinder with the help of a physical balance, and again you pour the water inside of that measuring cylinder, and again you find out the determine the mass by using a physical balance. Note down the mark to which the liquid fills the cylinder. So you see here how much water is filled, that you mark that. So if the surface of the liquid is curved, so you see here in the surface of the liquid is curved, this is a curved shape, so that time which reading you will take. So for that, if that surface of the liquid is curved, then the reading depends on the curvature of the liquid, so or the meniscus. Okay, so if that surface of the liquid is curved, then the reading depends on the curvature of the liquid or the meniscus. If the curve goes up, so if the curve goes up, that time then read the top of the meniscus. So for this you take the top of the meniscus, and however if the curve goes down, then the read the bottom of the meniscus. So for this case you have to take the reading top of the meniscus, and in this case, because you see the curve is goes down, so curve is goes down, so that's why they read the bottom of the meniscus. So for okay, see here, so if the curve goes up, then read the top of the meniscus, and if the curve goes down, then read the bottom of the meniscus. So you see here how is it, top of the curve goes up, read the top of the meniscus, and if the curve goes down, then read the bottom of the meniscus. So observation and calculation. So mass of the empty cylinder is m1 and mass of the cylinder filled with liquid m2. So because our first step was to find out the mass of empty cylinder by using a physical balance. So after using the physical balance, we will get that mass of the empty cylinder is m1 and mass of the filled cylinder m2. So mass of the liquid is m2 minus m1. Okay, because for empty cylinder if mass is this one and the filled cylinder is mass is this one, so when you subtract m2 minus m1, then we will get the mass of the liquid. So volume of the liquid is v and the density of the liquid is m by v, because mass per unit volume. So this way you have to calculate the density of the liquid also. Okay, so density of irregular solids, how to measure, how to find out that volume of irregular solid by using two methods, by measuring cylinder, by using a Eureka can, those things already learned, and how to measure the density of a liquid, that things also you learn. So here students, some question is here. Check your progress, true false question. So please do this, solve it, and in my next video I will discuss about the relative density. Okay, thank you students.